You're tuned into Taiwan Grooves. Let's explore the local music scene. Good day and welcome back to Taiwan Grooves. Today I'm joined by Lili Greenberg, a singer, songwriter, and dancer who creates art that centers around joy, intimacy, and real human connection. Through music and movement, Lili invites us to feel deeply, laugh freely, and connect more openly with ourselves and each other. In today's episode, we'll dive into what it was like for her growing up in New York City and how those experiences shaped her unique personality. We'll hear about how she first discovered her passion for music and dance and what inspired her to pursue the arts. She also shares her perspective on Taipei's music scene and reflects on her cherished memories of performing in a musical and touring as an artist. So without further ado, let's meet Lili Greenberg. All right, Lili, hello.
Hello.
Would you please take a couple of words to introduce yourself for the listeners?
Yeah. My name is Lili Greenberg. I hail from New York City, born and raised in Manhattan, Lower East Side. And I'm a singer, songwriter, artist, but I like to think of myself just as a connector and sharer. And I think singing was the gift that I was given on this earth to help connect people together. So I try to use it to greater the world and myself. And yeah, it's such an interesting thing to be like, explain yourself, because every time I do
label yourself.
Yeah, like this 5-minute elevator pitch, I'm like, but what about this? And I missed that. And
no worries. There's a free zone. All right, perfect. New York City. Yeah. It is dubbed as the musical city of the world,
totally.
Or in my head at least.
Okay.
And my FBI research tells me you have something to do with musicals.
I do have something to do with musicals.
All right.
Your
so
FBI research.
My second question would be, growing up in New York City, did it influence your whole musical creative ability a lot?
Yeah. So I think the biggest difference between Taipei and New York is that like the streets have music in New York. You walk outside, you are hearing sound all the time. There's a million cars honking. There's so many people with boom boxes and speakers that are blasting 5 different kinds of music. And my neighborhood is very multicultural. So I live in a very Jewish part. There's like a few blocks of religious Jews that sometimes have like parties on the street and are dancing the hora to Yiddish music. And at synagogue, I hear that as well. And then you walk 2 blocks in another direction and you have like a very large Hispanic community, and you're eating like Dominican food and watching people play dominoes and they're blasting their bachata music or whatever. And then you walk 5 minutes in the other direction and you're in Chinatown and you hear people outside the subway with their like traditional Chinese instruments and barbershop quartets come through the subway. And this is kind of how New York was when I was younger. It's changed a lot. It's just become very expensive and a lot more like cool young people versus I'm not that cool. I just happen to be from New York, you know, versus like I'm a New Yorker. And my mom is a singer. And so she always had bands when I was growing up, and I would go hear them perform. Yeah. And I got to see a musical every year on my birthday. And my first kind of great love was musical theater, because I feel that no matter where I go, at least when I was a kid, I was like putting on a musical. Like I would walk and I would tap dance and sing and I'd go
always
up to
in the spotlight.
Always in the spotlight. I'd go up to random people and be like, listen, and I'd sing them like the song that I wrote that day.
Good.
You know, people thought it was cute.
Good.
Adults, kids my own age were like, this girl is weird.
Okay, I mean, just to add something, this is the most New York thing I have heard.
Totally.
Like very precise description of how you see it in the movies.
Yeah.
And now you're like, okay, it's true. It's not just in the movies. And once you do that, I feel like it sets your path, what you're supposed to do and what you're doing and what you're comfortable doing.
Yeah.
Because then perhaps in Taipei, it's more quiet. Like people on the street won't do that. And if you do it, you're the exception one.
Totally.
So it's a bit tougher.
Well, okay, I feel like here people think that I'm really crazy. Like their definition of crazy is like this girl speaks her mind and she's loud and she's singing. And I try to do it in a respectful way, not like too crazy, but like I'll talk on the phone on the MRT, like sue me, you know. In New York, there are like actually crazy people right next to me. So
you ain't seen nothing.
Literally, you ain't seen nothing. Like my kind of crazy is not that crazy there. So I think it leaves
different type of crazy.
Yeah.
It's good ones, crazy.
Right. Like it leaves space for people to be themselves without feeling like a complete outlier or that they're weird or crazy, because everyone is different and unique like that in New York because of just the melting pot that it is and how big the city is and how many neighborhoods there are and like the history of it too. Like my ancestors moved there in the early 1900s. Like they moved to New York from Russia and just stayed, you know, like my grandparents, my parents, they were all born and raised like in the Bronx and Queens, and New York is like in our blood in the way of, I feel like people that move there feel like they need to show that they know New York and they know these restaurants and they know these streets and like I could navigate the whole city with my eyes closed. And I'm like, I don't know anything about New York. I just know my New York, which is like where I used to like get my hair cut and washed in Chinatown, or like the park next to me where there's this like really big toy elephant that everyone would climb on, or, you know, like my grandma and her like really thick New York accent and like the horrible food she would make. And
oh, Grandma, don't take it personally.
No, I love you, Grandma. You've made several good things as well. But
no, that I get it. It's like you're an exchange student in New York and you have your little spots, your little life.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
All right, so always surrounded by music growing up, even in family. Now, do you have a specific, let's say, memory, or would you remember kind of like something that turned you into wanting to pursue music more? Like you're young and you went for your 6th birthday to see the Addams Family and you're like, I want to be Wendy.
Now that you mention
it,
Wednesday, on my 6th birthday, I wanted to be Wendy. It's Wednesday.
Oh.
This is a memory that I don't quite have, but I hear a lot from my parents. Like when I was born, music would come on and I would shake my shoulders to the beat. Like there wasn't a time where I didn't feel
automatic
music. Yeah. And it was never a question of like, do I want to pursue music? It was like, there is no other option for me in the world, as the extreme person that I am, but
I didn't choose this path.
Be Hannah Montana. Like I didn't choose this path. And when I was 2, my family did a summer abroad in Barcelona, and we did a apartment swap with a family there. And there was this band that I don't know the name of. I called them the Spanish Girls. And their music really spoke to me, and we got their CD, and I brought it home, and I had this little like portable CD player because I'm young, but I still like grew up with the evolution of technology. And I would put the CD in this player and just like skip and spin and turn around the house and sing these songs for hours and hours. And it was just kind of the soundtrack of my life, like this kind of music that had rhythm and feel and beautiful lyrics that I didn't understand. Not because they were Spanish, but because I was 3. Yeah, but I remember another core memory I have was like my family, we used to listen to a lot of classic rock music, and we would take road trips, and my grandma lived about an hour away, so we would, my grandpa too, my grandparents, we would drive to them and listen to music. And one day my dad was skipping through the radio to get to the classic rock station, and it accidentally went on Radio Disney. And from that day on, my life was changed. There was nothing. I became a radio tyrant. Like there was nothing we could listen to in the car but Radio Disney. Like I ate that stuff up. Like
parents chose to walk afterwards.
Literally, we were walking to grandma's like 7 hours. But I started watching Hannah Montana. That show was really influential on me. And the High School Musical movies came out, and they're still my favorite movies to this day. Like I don't know what it was about them. Something about the music and the people in it, and maybe the comedy, or they just really spoke to me. Like I had High School Musical notebooks, High School Musical posters, High School Musical chapsticks, like everything High School Musical.
True fan.
Oh, I think I could recite them front to back from 1, 2, 3.
Oh. That's amazing. That's a very core little memory that kind of shaped.
Totally.
So you're the biggest musical fan. Now, when was the time you were the receiver? You were very receptive to every music that was happening. Now, did you remember any switch when you kind of like got into it? You started taking classes and you said, you know what? I want to be that person on the stage.
I grew up with such wonderful parents and a family that they were so encouraging of me since I can remember. I listened to videos of me singing when I was a kid and they sound like trash. Like they're so bad. But I was really young and my parents still encouraged me. Like you see a lot of parents, their kid is not naturally incredible at something. They're like, don't do that. It's bad. Like this is not the path for you, you know? And my parents were like, this is amazing. Like you're the best singer that ever existed. And I think it gave me the confidence to kind of pursue whatever it was and grow that talent. Not from a scarcity place, but from a place of, I want to be even better. I want to be on stage. Like, I would look at myself in the mirror and I would write songs to myself for hours and hours. Like I would sing one long song and most of it consisted of me being like, I'm so pretty. I'm so cool. Like
the American confidence.
Literally. I mean, of course that ebbed and flowed as I got older and was put into different social situations where not everyone was like my parents and they weren't telling me you're amazing. They were telling me what they actually thought, which was like, you know, you're not so cool and maybe you're not so pretty, like whatever. Yeah, but I remember always singing and I would tell my parents like, I want to take some vocal lessons, and I took some vocal lessons at a young age. But when you're young, it's not really about technique or anything. It's just like basically karaoke.
Exploring stuff.
Yeah. And then I started dancing pretty intensely. I'm also a dancer. In middle school, I started taking more classes. And I told my mom, I was like, I want to be in dance classes. And she was like, find them and I'll pay for them. And I was like, okay.
Oh, wow.
So I started looking for dance classes, started dancing at the Alvin School has an extension program. So I was just doing a few classes there. And then in high school, I went to an arts high school. So kind of at the end of middle school, I was like, I want to pursue this. And I auditioned for this arts high school in New York. I sang, what did I sing? Oh, I sang On My Own from Les Mis. It's a great song. I sang that song. We had to like write an essay, do some like tap backs, a little interview. And I ended up getting into this like pretty elite art school and went there, started writing more songs, got more classical training. We sang a lot of opera. And then outside of school, I was dancing in a pre-professional company doing like classical modern dance, which was super fun. Like we did tons of performances. And then I did a gap year. I went to college for dance, but also was pursuing music throughout it. And then we can get to the rest later. It's kind of a different turn, but yeah.
Suddenly you're here.
And suddenly I'm here.
In Taiwan.
In Taiwan.
That's amazing. Already a clear goal. Shout out to your parents. My parents were like, oh, please don't ever sing again.
Really?
But, you know, they're very objective. Like we don't want to hurt anybody and we want to make sure you know the truth. But that's why I'm even more motivated to like, okay, you know what? Right. I'll try. How far can you get with no singing experience? So we'll come back to that in a couple of years.
It's such an interesting balance of how do I not squash someone's passion? How do I encourage them, especially if they're really young, versus what is me blatantly lying and making them think delusional things that they're going to be then put in situations where they're going to be faced with the truth in a much harsher way than I would give it to them.
That's true. I still feel like your approach was better because even exaggerating and making something just wakes up the passion. Yeah. And then you kind of want to pursue it yourself. Yeah. Whereas the opposite might completely shut it down. Yeah. And you're like, you know what? I'll just do something else.
And I think there's this perception or perspective that people only work hard when they're given negative feedback. Which I don't think is true. People can work hard from a place of just genuine, pure love.
Of course.
And I think we work too hard all the time in our world anyways.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Okay. You have come to Taiwan a year and a half ago to develop and pursue more music.
Yeah.
After a year and a half, do you have any... What's your view, what's your opinion on the music scene in Taiwan and how it kind of like aligns with what you want to do, or does it help you grow? Do you want to change something about it?
I think I need to give a little bit context, sort of. So I was in college studying dance, and this one day I did an audition. Like I was home for the summer and I saw this audition coming through New York. And I was like, it'll be a good experience. It was singing and dancing in the audition for a musical, a national tour. I was like, I don't really need to prepare anything. Like, I guess I'll just go, you know. Originally I thought it was a scam because I saw all these ads online of these like stock photo images of like 20-something-year-old women, and it just said like $25,000 in like huge bold letters. And I was like, this is a scam. But then I saw the audition was at a studio that I know pretty well, and so I was like, okay, like if I go to the studio, like I'm not going to be, you know, like trafficked there, so I can go to the audition. And I went, and out of like 7,000 plus people, I got the part, which was,
wow.
Yeah, I did not expect that in the slightest. And I don't think it's because I was the most talented. I think it was also right place, right time, right fit for the cast, personality, all
right
that. Right mindset, yeah. And I just dropped out of school the next day.
Wow.
Yeah, so I only did 2 years of college. And then I went on tour for a year. And it was all of my dreams coming true and all of my dreams being shattered at the same time. Like, that's something that you work for 10 years in the professional industry, 5 years to get an opportunity like that. And I did an audition on a whim and got that part, and I wasn't ready, you know? And there wasn't the support that I needed. And we were doing the same show every day and traveling every day, hours on a bus, and eating food that like didn't fuel my body and didn't have time for anything else. But your life was this tour. And I felt my artist cup was just being depleted, and there was nothing filling it. And also like socially, the dynamics were hard. You're with the same people all the time. And every person has the biggest personality you've ever seen in your life, because we're all just like the theater kid from our town that randomly got this opportunity. And after that, I kind of had like, you know, at 21, a midlife crisis of
midlife crisis. Oh no.
I know. Like, hopefully it's not midlife. Hopefully it was like
you live until 90.
Fifth life crisis of what do I want to do? This was what I thought I wanted my whole life, and now that it's come true, I was in one of the like lowest places that I've been in my life. You know,
that's very, because as you say, people work for it for years, and then once you're there. Because it's very interesting. Even before we started recording, as you said, if you're doing the same thing all over, it just sucks up the what you kind of intended to do in the first place. So
it's like, how do you make it interesting? How do you make sure that you're engaged every single night? And sometimes you can't, right? And that's okay. But it's also coming to terms with, this is where I am today, and this is how I'm going to perform. Versus, I think on tour, I was so mad at myself that I couldn't be happy all the time, that I couldn't be loving every moment. That I was in a disconnect with how I was really feeling versus how I wanted to feel. And so I felt this, I was putting on an act, and everyone around me was the proudest they've ever been in my life. You know, this is the biggest opportunity I've ever had. We traveled all over the United States. All of my friends and family were able to see me perform when they hadn't been able to before if they didn't live in close proximity to where I was. So everyone was like, isn't this the best thing ever? Isn't this all your dreams come true? And
you're like, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no.
Wow.
Yeah, we're on a huge stage. I wanted to be Hannah Montana, and I was. I had fake hair. I had 15 costumes that all costed like thousands of dollars each.
Interesting.
I had a huge band behind me and choreography, and everything was big and flashy, and I didn't feel like a person. I felt like a product, and there wasn't the resource or attention to give each cast member that love that they needed. Or at least I felt like I was really struggling. And after that, I just didn't want to perform anymore. Like, I stopped performing for like 6 to 8 months. And me and my best friend, my childhood best friend from summer camp, were like, let's go backpack together. And we started backpacking in Southeast Asia like for 6 months. It's so ironic. Like, I went from one day having fake hair and a sequin costume and flying on, our producer was really rich. We'd fly on private jets sometimes. Like,
wow.
Flying on private jets to living in a hostel
with other people,
sharing a bunk bed with like 6 people, and actually walking on dirt roads in Laos, you know. And that also didn't fulfill me in all the ways that I thought it would. But I think in the non-fulfillment of both, kind of, I discovered that it was probably something more internal versus something external, but it taught me so much. Like, I had such amazing experience traveling, met so many people, and saw such beautiful things. And I really liked riding on motorcycles. Like, I wouldn't drive because I'm scared, but like, such a great passenger princess. And then during that journey, I came to Taiwan for a month just to learn Chinese, started singing here, and got a job here, and was like, okay, I'll stay. And I've been here for a year and a half since. And so it's been really a journey of not only discovering music, but discovering myself. And I would not dare to say that I have discovered myself. You know, that's a lifelong journey that I hope that I never complete. Otherwise, I'm dead, you know. But yeah, like within the space in the music industry here, within the space of me being, I think, so secluded from my friends and family and everyone that I grew up with and loved, I had the time and solitude and challenges that allowed me to really kind of, I still don't have it figured out, but take a few steps down that path, or at least be more in alignment with what I think my North Star is. And I've actually written a bunch of songs about this, about like just kind of trusting the process, and like the process is what it's about. You know, we could literally die tomorrow. Maybe 21 was my midlife crisis. Who knows, you know? And so we spend all of our time working towards this like big goal that we have in our mind, not even knowing if that's the pinnacle. There could be more, there could be less, who knows, but not being present in this moment. And one of my best friends, who she's just so brilliant, she was like, the only time wasted is time where you're not present. And I was like, shoot, I've wasted so much time, and so what? Like, now I get to decide to make a different decision, and I can't do that all of the time. Of course, I'm just a human, but I've also become a lot more religious, and I wrote this song. I'll sing a little bit of it. I'm doing two things as if they are just one, splitting my focus and my attention. They say one thing at a time and you'll get it done, but the world moves so quick, it's one thing in love. One by one I grow closer to a place that I cannot even yet see. But some destinations are too bright, 'cause then you might not try equally. But I believe, yeah, I believe, yeah, I believe that God's planned the best path for me. That's just like one verse of it, but
wow. What a voice.
Thanks. Just like, you know, one by one we grow closer to a place that we can't even see. We don't know. But some destinations are too bright. If you could see the end, then we wouldn't try as hard. You know, we wouldn't be here. But some destinations are. So I believe that God has planned the best paths for me. Oh no, I totally missed the part. It's okay. It talks about like looking to the side and appreciating what's right next to you versus only looking at the pinnacle.
That's great. You're speed running through life. Like, you get all the experiences compounded into, you know, what people work for years. You'll have like, okay, you know what? Go have a try. And then you're like, oh my God.
Yeah. But sometimes I wish I could just be like, I don't want to say normal, but
I know what you mean. But
like a 23-year-old that likes to drink and have casual sex, you know? That's just not who I am.
Look, as you said, both experiences valuable. You take whatever you can from it.
Totally.
It's not like one was better than the other.
Yeah.
But the importance, and that goes for anything, you need the time to breathe in between, whatever you do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you become to hate it, which is the last thing you expect
Yeah.
from what you love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes it makes me ask, like, do I love it enough?
Mm.
You know? Because with any job, you're doing parts that you don't necessarily love. And either you have to find a way to enjoy that stuff or know that it sucks, but it's worth it because there's some goal. But I think that's just not a fair question for anyone. It doesn't matter if I love it as much as this person, or because how can you compare that? It's like, I love it in my own way and I need it, You know, when you talk to artists, they need to do their art. Otherwise, they can't function. And it's such a dramatic perspective, but, but it's true.
Spoken like a real artist.
Yeah.
And that's it for today's interview. Do remember to come back for next week's part 2, where we're going to dive into her work and she's going to analyze some songs, and she's also going to share with us her life in Taipei. Thanks for listening. I wish you all a wonderful day. And here's one of her tracks from the latest EP called Let Me Breathe.
I'm okay. I said I'm okay. And how did I let myself believe all those voices keeping me from feeling free? And I'm enough. Did I enough? And how did I manage to believe that there wasn't enough love?